the Met Office has actually issued an upgraded amber wind warning for large parts of the UK.
Yeah, Storm Isha is just the latest named storm, and it is set to bring heavy rain and heavy winds, apparently up to 80 miles an hour, which sounds a big deal.
Yeah, weather journalist Nathan Rao is here. Morning, Nathan.
Good morning.
Go on,
Good
fill
morning.
us in.
I know. Here I am again. More bad weather on the way. Yes, Storm Isha is on the way today, and she is going to arrive in a very bad mood.
Where's she come from?
She is coming from across the Atlantic. Quite interestingly, this storm is being dragged over by the jet stream, which is being strengthened by a cold snap in America. But it is the jet stream once again which has gone into its Atlantic stormy position, and that is bringing Storm Isha in today. She is currently sort of spiralling around the west coast of Ireland.
So what is it that we've been feeling this morning? Is that this is just the very edge?
You're feeling the very edge. Now, Isha is a low-pressure system. She's a deep low-pressure system, very similar to the other 8 named storms we have had this autumn, this winter. And around those are the isobars, and they are starting to move into the UK. So you're feeling the start of Isha. But the warnings, the Met Office warnings, specifically the amber warning, which is a level 2 warning for the more severe winds, which they're talking about up to 85 miles per hour. That is the Met Office. I've seen some independent meteorologists talking of 100 miles per hour on the very fringes. This looks like this storm is going to give the entire country quite a thrashing. It's not. It's
obviously going to be nasty for anyone living near the coast.
Yeah.
I mean, you only have to look at the pictures we're showing at the moment, waves crashing up. But is it the sort of storm that's going to blow tiles off your roof and chimney pots off your roof?
Yes, I think it is. Now, this is the sort of storm the last storm we had was Storm Henk, which was before Christmas. That was really across the south of the UK. And I was actually having a look back at all the storms this morning to come in for you and sort of see how bad it is. And I was looking back to Storm Eunice in February of last year, which was the big one that tore the roof off the O2. And that was the last storm that seemed as... It's not going to be as bad as that. That had a red warning from the Met Office. There is no red warning from the Met Office, I must point that out. But in terms of widespread winds and the amber warnings for wind that the Met Office put out, this looks like a very, very windy spell of weather that might cause the sort of damage that you're talking about. And also, you'll see a lot mentioned in the press and everything, this danger to life. You know, that is one of the things that the Met Office do warn about. And we were just looking at pictures of the coastal waves crashing over. Don't go walking down coastal pathways today, because that is where the real danger is. If you're driving and you're out and about, look at the warning areas and look at where it's going to be worse, because there is going to be flying debris. The good thing is we're in winter, so the trees are not in full leaf, were we to get a storm like this in August. That said, there are some very, very strong winds coming later today. The amber warnings and the yellow warnings are for later on the day as Storm Isha moves across the UK and off up to Scandinavia into the early hours of tomorrow. But right through this afternoon, this evening and into the early hours of this morning, Storm Isha is going to do her thing, and then we have another one on the way.
What?
Oh, crumbs.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
I wasn't, no.
No, Tuesday, really up until midweek Tuesday, there is another low-pressure system moving in. It has not been named by the Met Office yet.
Jeff.
Jocelyn, it would be Jocelyn if it were to be named, which it hasn't. I get into a lot of trouble about if I say it, you know, if I hint that it hasn't been named yet. But it's looking like a strong one.
What is the significance, then, of it being named?
The Met Office...
It's a big deal.
Yeah, the Met Office tend to name the storms depending on the impact they're likely to have. So if they think that the wind strengths or the rain are going to be such that they will have an impact enough to cause widespread problems, they will issue a name for that storm. It's like when they issue the wind warnings. They look at the impact it's going to have. And I think it's also a bit of sort of getting a grip on the storm, because years and years and years ago, when I used to write about storms, storm names were up for grabs for whoever could name them first, and it stuck. Then they get the name. Then the Met Office sort of walked in and said, we're going to name all the storms and then issue the names as and when they come along. But it's really based on the impact. And it's sort of, if you can give it a name, we are all talking about the same thing. So there is another wet and windy period of weather coming in through the start of next week. No storm name for that yet. I personally wouldn't be surprised to see another storm name before Wednesday. Well, let's watch this space. But take care, because some very nasty weather on the way today.
Yeah, OK.
Well, maybe it augurs well for a
But it will get milder. It is getting milder.
Well,
that's true.
Is getting milder,
yeah, 4 degrees it was for me this morning. I thought, well,
instead of -4 the other day.
I let the cat out. Yeah, and interestingly, start of next week, we could get into double figures. The
Really?
wind's coming in from the southwest.
Does that go with a storm?
Yeah, because where it's coming from. So what we've had is we've had the Arctic coming down and high pressure keeping that cold, clear skies and Arctic air coming down. The Arctic is retreating. This is coming in from the southwest. And with that, we're getting southerly winds, and that is going to raise the temperatures. And looking at some of the charts, I'm looking at double figures at the beginning. I mean, in the wind, because it's going to be windy, it's going to feel cooler. I mean, you know, you're not going to be out lounging on your cushions if you manage to save them all during the storm, Anne. But
I'll keep you posted on that.
if you do, let me know.
What I'm going to do.
OK, Nathan, thanks very much.
Thank you.
If you don't need to go out today, don't.
No.
Especially if you're a bit, dodgy on your legs, on your feet. Definitely don't go out.
Stay in and watch GB News.
Yes.